Have you ever been at one of your favorite fast food establishments, dining on a delicious patty melt, and thought to yourself, man, I sure wish I could make this at home out of duck? Well, you're a normal person, so probably not, but today we're going to show you how to make one anyway. On today's episode of Cooking with Dan, we are joined by a very unspecial guest that you've probably seen before, Marcus.
So, you've probably seen tons of recipes online for cooking whole duck and duck jerky and all sorts of other stuff. But with Cooking with Dan, we're going to bring you a lot of special recipes this season that you've probably never heard of before or never thought to try. Dan's spending the night for tomorrow's duck hunt, and so I'm going to make him up a duck patty melt tonight. And then we're also going to branch out, try something brand new because I'm a little tired of eating duck burgers all week. And we're going to make some duck taco salad.
So you shot all these ducks and you don't know what to do? Let Dan show you how to cook them in a stew. Or use bacon grease to fry them in a pan. You'll learn all about it on Cooking with Dan. If you've ever had a patty melt, you know that the best part is the onions. We're gonna slice this up into some nice thin slices before we saute it in a lot of butter. I'm not crying, you're crying. Once you got your butter melted in a nice hot skillet, it's time to add your onions. Normally a spatula works great for sauteing onions, but since Marcus's are all dirty and he doesn't want to wash any dishes, you can do the same thing by just shaking the skillet.
You don't need a spatula, Dan. Just... Alright, fine. I washed the spatula.
Thank you.
Dan, what are you doing?
Getting a snack? While your onions are sauteing, it's the perfect time to take your delicious ground duck and turn it into patties. Just take you a scoop of duck meat and just form it into your hamburger patty just like you regularly do. Okay. This isn't working. Marcus, how do you do this? Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Got
now,
the patty made.
Dan, now try and get that in the pan.
Okay.
On today's episode of Cooking with Marcus, I'm going to show you how to make your duck patty. When you grind up the meat, you can kind of see that duck doesn't really hold together like a burger does. There's not a lot of fat in this either. So what I like to do is just get a big spoonful of duck, and then I plop that straight into the skillet. And then I just take my spatula and kind of form that into the shape of a patty. I like my patties nice and thin. Lets you get the duck cooked all the way through without drying it out. And when you go thin like this, doesn't need to cook for long, just a couple minutes per side. Alright, for my duck patty melts, I really like to use a nice quality rye bread. I think it really helps the overall flavor. And when you get ready to toast your bread, you might be tempted to use butter. And we all know, can't go wrong with butter. One of my favorite tricks for making duck patty melts is to actually use mayonnaise to toast the bread. Put some mayonnaise on this, slap it on the skillet. It works out really well, toasts it up nice and crispy. Dan's giving me a funky look, like he don't believe me.
This dude crazy. Why would you use mayonnaise instead of butter? Everybody knows butter is the best.
Alright, got the Swiss cheese on there. For your patty melt, you can't go wrong with Swiss cheese. The flavor, the little bit stronger flavor of that cheese just matches so perfectly with the ground duck. Boom. And you just toast that up.
This is insane.
Alright, so look at that awesome toast that you get with mayonnaise. Tell me when on the onions, Dan.
I love onions. Give me them all. Not all of them, but a bunch.
And there you have it. A most delicious looking duck patty melt sandwich.
So Marcus has been talking this sandwich up to me for quite a while, But it's also got Swiss cheese, which I don't like. And he toasted the bread with mayo. So I'm a little skeptical. Maybe he's trying to bamboozle me. We will see. It does look very tasty.
Oh yeah. Perfectly cooked. Well,
that's very interesting.
what do you think?
Give me a second. You can't. This is the quality that you get on Cooking with Dan. Nobody can tell you if something is good from just one bite. If somebody takes one bite and immediately goes, delicious, they are full of lies.
On today's episode of Eating with Dan.
After 3 bites, I can tell you this is good. This is good. 8 out of 10. Would recommend. You should. This is easy, delicious. What's not to love?
Alright, so Dan's over here stuffing his face with food. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the duck tacos started. This was shot last weekend. I need to get it used up. So I've been eating duck burgers all week and gonna hopefully wrap up the rest of this with some duck taco salad. Okay, so I've never tried doing just ground beef or just ground duck before like this. And so I'm gonna add a little bit of oil because there's no fat in this. And just kind of guessing right now. Alright, so this duck is looking pretty well ground. And I'm pretty pleased with how this is looking. I mean, that looks kind of like ground beef. Okay, duck is all ready, so we'll go ahead and add 3/4 cup of water. And then I like to mix up my own taco seasoning so you can make it however spicy or not spicy as you want it. And we'll just, well, you know, heck, we'll just dump it all in there. Oh yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more water, I think, actually. We'll go with another maybe 1/4 cup or so. And now we'll just mix that all together. And our taco meat will be done. We'll bring this up to a boil and then reduce heat and simmer until all the liquid's drained off. You know what? I'm gonna call that good. So, I got a little bit of leftover onions over here from Dan's burger. Got down a nice layer of corn chips. We'll go a little light on the duck meat on this first one. See what we think. Cooking duck on my stovetop. Because Dan makes a mess and gets duck everywhere. Extra cheese. Dollop of that on there. I actually prefer whole tomatoes as opposed to the little grape tomatoes. But generally, I'm too lazy to cut up a whole tomato, so I just buy the grape tomatoes. Now for the salad part, to the taco salad. Alrighty. Alright, so there we have it, our duck taco salad, and I'm really excited to test this out and see how it is. Now, don't judge me, but I am a taco salad mixer, which means everything gets stirred together. Some of you might think this is disgusting and nasty, but guess what? I don't care what you think. Now, I'll take a lesson from Dan, and I won't give judgment just yet. That's crazy. If you told me that this was duck 2 years ago, when I hated duck, I would not have believed you. It's really pretty good. Tastes like tacos. This will definitely be a repeat recipe.
So, I don't really believe Marcus And if I tell him that I didn't believe him, then he would let me try some of his so I get to taste it without doing any work. So we're going to give it a go.
Okay, yep. That's gonna be enough tasting. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's way better than the patty melt. 9 out of 10. We'll definitely make again.